Hey guys, welcome back. So I wanted to make this video because honestly, the market right now is an absolute mess. Like, dude, my portfolio has been swinging tens of thousands of dollars on a weekly basis. Both in Bitcoin and the SP, it is actually insane. And I know a lot of you are probably feeling that same anxiety right now, watching your numbers go up and down and wondering if you should just pull everything out and wait for things to settle. I get it, I have been there, but here's the thing. The people who actually build real wealth over time are not the ones who panic sell when things get shaky. They are the ones who stay the course. And I wanted to make this video as a reminder to myself as much as to you. I am 27 turning 28. I have so much time ahead of me, so do you. And if you are in your 20s or even your 30s, you have the single biggest advantage in investing, which is time. So do not waste it by making emotional decisions based on what the news is screaming at you today. Let me start by addressing the elephant in the room. Where is the market right now, dude? It is all over the place. One day we get some announcement about tariffs, the next day there is news about war somewhere in the world. I try not to watch the news, honestly. I really do not. The only place I kind of keep up with things is Twitter or X. I get most of my info from there, but even then I try to focus on what is in front of me, what I can actually control. And here is the hard truth that took me years to learn. You cannot control the market. You cannot control what the Fed does. You cannot control what some politician says on television. The only thing you can control is your own behavior, how much you save, how consistently you invest, whether you stay disciplined when everyone else is losing their minds. That is it. That is the whole game. I went through a period last year where I was just focused on all the wrong things. I was watching every single price movement. I was reading every bearish prediction. I was getting sucked into arguments online about whether Bitcoin was going to zero or the SP was about to crash. And you know what happened? I stressed myself out for no reason. Nothing changed. The world kept spinning, the market kept doing its thing, and I realized that all that anxiety was completely pointless. So I made a decision to just step back, to stop obsessing over things I cannot control, and honestly, my life got a lot better. I started going for walks more, I started having coffee outside instead of staring at charts, I started actually living my life instead of watching my portfolio every 5 minutes, and I want the same for you. Do not let this stuff consume you. It is not worth it. Okay, so with that out of the way, let me get into the 5 assets that I believe made normal people rich and will absolutely do it again in the next 3 to 5 years, maybe longer. That is my personal investment time horizon. I am not a day trader. I am not trying to time the market. I am a buy and hold guy who believes in the long-term trajectory of these things. Do your own research. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. I am just some 27-year-old dude sharing what has worked for me. Number 1, Bitcoin. I know I talk about this a lot, but there is a reason for that. Bitcoin has made a ton of multimillionaires and even some billionaires over the last 5 to 10 years, and I really do think it is going to do that again. The compound annual growth rate on Bitcoin has been absolutely insane historically. Even if we only see 10 to 15% average returns per year over the next decade, I think we are going to be sitting on a really nice chunk of change. Now, I know there are a lot of skeptics out there. I get it. There is risk. There is the quantum computing risk. There is the risk of hacks. There are regulatory risks. All of that is real, but here is why I am still a believer. Bitcoin is limited. Only 21 million will ever exist. No more can be mined. That scarcity is baked into the code. And I think as a hedge against the US dollar, it makes a lot of sense. Do I think the dollar is going to absolutely collapse and we will never use it again? I am not one of those guys. I think we will still use regular currency for everyday stuff, but I do think Bitcoin is a nice savings tool. There is a reason why governments, countries, and very smart business people are getting into it. They are not stupid. And when you take your Bitcoin off an exchange and put it into cold storage like Trezor, which I am a huge fan of, by the way, it gives you something that no bank can offer you: true ownership. You can travel with it. Nobody can confiscate it. Nobody can freeze your account. That is powerful. Even if Bitcoin never went up in value again, I would still hold it for that reason alone. Number 2, business ownership. This is probably my personal favorite. Look at how many business owners have gotten stupidly wealthy over the last decade or two. I am talking blue-collar businesses. I am talking tech agencies. I am talking service-based businesses, e-commerce, real estate. It does not matter what industry. If you own something, you have the potential to build real wealth. This is why I am a big believer in what Felix Dennis wrote in his book, How to Get Rich. Rest in peace to that guy. He explained it better than anyone. You need to own equity. You need to own a piece of something that can grow. Jobs are not safe right now. You could get fired tomorrow. And then what do? I am not one of those people who asks, what is your backup plan? Because honestly, my backup plan is fixing my main plan. I know that sounds arrogant, but it has worked out for me. The point is, you need to figure this stuff out. Even if you do not want to own a full-blown business, you should still start something on the side. I am obviously biased. Start a service business, start selling your time, start consulting, start flipping items on Facebook Marketplace. The easiest way I can explain this to someone is buy something for 50 bucks, do a little bit of work to it, clean it, fix it up, and sell it for 200 bucks. That is the simplest foot in the door. From there, you scale, you build systems, you hire people, and eventually you have something that generates income whether you are working or not. That is the goal. Number 3, tech-focused index funds. This one is relatively new for me. I have been piling money into TAC, which is a tech-focused index fund here in Canada, managed by TD Bank. And the reason is simple. Look at what the big tech companies have done over the last 5 years. Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia. These companies have absolutely exploded. And I do not think they are going anywhere. Even if we are in a bit of an AI bubble right now, you would be an idiot to say that AI is not going to change everything for the better. It is already replacing stupid jobs that should not have been jobs in the first place. Data entry, copy-pasting, admin work that nobody liked doing anyway. I am honestly happy these things are being automated. We should not be paying people an arm and a leg to copy-paste stuff into a spreadsheet. AI is here and it is only going to get smarter. I keep reminding myself that the versions of these tools we have right now are the worst they will ever be. They are only going to improve from here. Look at the difference between AI-generated video from 2023 and what we have now, 3 years of progress, and it is already insane. Those who invest in tech-focused index funds now could retire on that alone. It has heavily outperformed the SP over the last decade. Do I think it will outperform over the next 12 to 24 months? Probably not. The market is choppy right now, but over the next 5 to 10 years. Absolutely. That is why I am still buying. Number 4, the good old boring SP 500. This is the longest standing asset in my portfolio. I have been investing in the SP since I was 20 or maybe 21, and it has been awesome, consistent, steady gains. It is the top 500 US companies, the biggest and most established businesses in the world. There is not much else to say about it that I have not already said in 100 other videos. VO is the ticker I use. For my Canadian friends, VFV is the equivalent. I have over $500,000 of my net worth in the SP at this point. And even if it only returns 7% a year, I am still happy. Even if we hit a low median of 8, 9, or 10%, I am still dumping money in there every single month. The bonus is it pays a nice dividend too, around 1% after withholding tax. Not life-changing, but it is nice to get paid just for holding. This is exactly the kind of asset class you should be focused on. Something you can dump money into without having to think about it and just let it grow over time. That is the whole point of investing. Set it and forget it. Number 5, yourself. I know a lot of people, stupidly enough, do not view themselves as an asset, but dude, you are the most important asset you will ever own. All the other 4 assets do not work unless you do your health, your mind, your skills, your knowledge. That is what actually matters. Nobody can take away what is inside your brain. No chips, no bots, no nothing. Invest in yourself, read books, take online courses from people you trust, learn skills that are actually in demand. When I choose a skill to learn, I ask myself, does this thing have a 10-year runway? Will this still be in demand or even more in demand 10 years from now? You have to think about these things. You do not want to go into a dying market or learn something that will be replaced in 6 months. Get good at sales, get good at negotiating, learn how to run ads, learn marketing, learn how to turn $1 into $5 using Google ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads, learn coding. Cloud computing is one of the best ways to make money right now, and most people do not know how to use it properly. I still invest in myself every single year. I take about 5 to 10% of my earnings and dump it into courses, books, coaching, whatever helps me grow. There is no amount of money that can replace what you can earn as a skilled, capable person. You are a vessel for a reason. Think of yourself that way, because if you do not, you will get left behind by the people who do. Okay, so let me wrap this up by talking about how I actually allocate my money across these 5 assets right now. A good chunk of my net worth came from my business, and it is still in my business generating cash flow. I do not have a ton of personal money tied up in it because it spits off cash on its own. Bitcoin, I would say, is around 20 to 25% of my net worth, maybe a little less depending on the week. The SP is probably 35 to 40% right now. That number ebbs and flows depending on how much I am investing each month. Tech, I have about 120 to 130 grand in. I made a video on my BizBath channel breaking down the exact percentages if you want to check that out. And then I always keep 5 to 10% of my earnings each year to invest in myself. That is the number one asset. It always has been, and it always will be. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you take it seriously, because I do. The market is going to be volatile. There is going to be uncertainty. There are always going to be people screaming that everything is crashing. But if you focus on what you can control, if you stay consistent, if you keep investing in these 5 things, I really believe you are going to be in a great position 3, 5, 10 years from now. Do not watch the news. Go outside, have a coffee, go for a walk, live your life, and keep building. Peace.